Bright Tutee. Every student matters.
Hello dear students, welcome to another lecture. Now in this class we are going to begin with the first chapter of your grammar book, which is the phrase and the clause. Now this chapter is going to tell us about the difference between a sentence, a clause and a phrase. So just look at your screen. It says, Madhu has a silver ring. So this is a sentence which is given to you people. Now this is a proper sentence, okay, in which every word when connected together makes complete sense. Now, if I talk about only of silver, the complete sentence, if I divide this sentence in two parts, Madhu has a ring of silver. Now just the part of silver, although it has a meaning, it makes sense, but it is not a complete sentence. You can see that very well. Just writing of silver. Now, although we are able to understand what of silver means, but it is not making a complete sense. It is not a sentence because it does not have a subject or a predicate in it. And such group of words which do not have a subject and a predicate in them are known as phrases. What is a phrase? A phrase is a group of words without a subject and a predicate. So there are two things that we've understood so far. First, a sentence makes complete sense. It has a subject in it, it has a verb in it, it has a predicate in it. But when I talk about a phrase, although a phrase makes sense, but it is not a complete sentence, and it does not have a subject or a predicate in it. For example, now, as you can see, it is here, what I have told you is written here. It is a group of words that make sense, but not complete sense, and it has no subject and predicate. Now, in the sentences that we shall read, the 5 sentences that you can see on your screen, the words in italics are your phrases. Now look at the first sentence. The sun rises in the east. This is a complete sentence. It has a subject. What is my subject? The sun. It has a verb which is rises. And what is a predicate? In the east. So this is a sentence. But if I only talk about in the east, though it is making sense, but is it a complete sentence? No. Does it have a subject or a predicate? No. So what is it? It is a phrase. Look at the second sentence. Somebody knocked at my door. This again is a complete sentence. It has a subject, it has a verb, and it has a predicate. But if I look at the words in italics, what are my words in italics? At my door. If I just look at my door, though it is making sense, but it is not a complete sentence. Why is it not a complete sentence? Because it has no subject or predicate in it. So what do we call such groups of words? We call them phrases. Look at the third sentence. She is sitting on the beach. If I talk about on the beach, again, it is a phrase because it does not have a subject and a predicate in it. Look at the fourth sentence. This toy is made of plastic. Of plastic is a phrase. Why? Because it has no subject or predicate. Show me how to do it. How to do it. Now again, if I look at this is a phrase because this does not have a subject or a predicate in it. So what have we learned? those group of words which although makes sense but not complete sense and do not come with a subject or a predicate are known as phrases. On the other hand, what is a sentence? A sentence is a complete statement with a subject, verb as well as a predicate. Let us look further now and understand what is a clause. Now look at the sentence again. Madhu has a ring which is made of silver. Now, in this group of words, in this sentence which is given, which is made of silver, if I talk about just this part of the sentence, again, I divide the sentence in two parts. Madhu has a ring and which is made of silver. Now, Madhu has a ring is making complete sense. When I talk about the second part of this sentence, which is made of silver, it is not a phrase. Why? Because it has a subject. What is the subject in this second part of the sentence? It is which. So, which is the subject? What is the predicate that we have in this sentence? The predicate that we have in the sentence is made of silver. So the second part of the sentence that we have a subject, we have a predicate in it, right? Such groups of words are known as clauses. Now what is a clause? A clause is a group of words that is a part of a regular sentence. This was a sentence. Madhu has a ring which is made of silver. Of this sentence, clause was a small part which is made of silver. A clause will also have a subject, a clause will also have a predicate, but a clause will be a part of the main sentence. So this is what we understand by a clause. So, as I told you, a clause is a group of words that forms part of a larger sentence and it has a subject and a predicate of its own. That is a clause. Look at the sentences which give us the examples of clauses. We cannot start while it is raining. If I look at this sentence, while it is raining, this is a complete sentence in itself. We have a subject, it. We have a predicate also, is raining. We all know that predicate always includes a verb in it. Yes? So, it is the subject, is raining is the predicate. Second sentence, I think that you have made a great mistake. Now, in this also, you is the subject and the rest of the sentence is the predicate. Third sentence, he knows how he could do it. How he could do it? He is the subject, rest of the sentence is my predicate. People who pay their debts are trusted. Who pay their debts? Who is my subject? Rest of the sentence is my predicate. So you see, in all these four sentences, those group of words that were written in pink were clauses. Why? Because these group of words had a subject and a predicate of their own. But in addition to it, they were a part of the main sentence. So they were not an independent sentence, but a part of the main sentence. So this is what is a clause. So let us look at the difference between these three as we have just discussed. Sentence is a group of words. It has a subject and a predicate and it makes complete sense. When we come to a clause, it is again a group of words. It has a subject and a predicate. It has a meaning of its own, but it forms part of a larger sentence. And the third thing that we learned about was a phrase. It is again a group of words. It does not have a finite verb in it. It does not have a verb in it. There may be a phrase with a subject, but it does not have a verb in it. It has a partial meaning, partial, unclear meaning to it. And in order to obtain a definite meaning, it has to be a part of a sentence. Only then the phrase will make sense. So this is the difference between a clause, a phrase, as well as a sentence. Now, let us look at the difference between an adverb phrase and an adverb clause. Now, look at the sentences which are on your screen. They rested at sunset. They rested when evening came. Now, if you read at both these sentences, you are getting the answer to the question when. Right? First sentence, when did they rest? And at sunset. I am getting the answer to it. When did they rest? In the second sentence, when evening came. Now look at these two sentences again. In the first sentence, the answer to our when was just one word, sunset. Right? If I give you another example, for example, they came in the evening. When did they come? Evening. I have just one answer to my answer when. So this is an adverb. When I get the answer to the question when in just one word, that one word is my adverb. On the other hand, when I get the answer in the form of a clause, we have just learnt about clauses. Clause is a group of words which has a subject and a predicate in it, right? So when you get the answer in the form of a clause, the answer is an adverb clause. For example, when evening came. When did they come? When evening came. The answer is in the form of a clause. So this is an adverb clause. If I give you another example, they came when it stopped raining. When did they come? When it stopped raining. So I am getting the answer to my question when in all these four sentences. The only difference is in the first two sentences, I got my answer in one word. Sunset, evening. So these words were my adverbs. On the other hand, in the next two sentences, my answer was in the form of a clause, which had a subject as well as a predicate in it. So this was known as an adverb clause. Now let us look at what has been given to us. Okay. In sentence 1, the word, what was my answer? At sunset. What is at sunset? It is a phrase. On the other hand, in the second sentence, my answer to when was when evening came. So in the first sentence, the answer was a phrase. In the second sentence, my answer was a clause. So when you get the answer to a question when in the form of a phrase, that is known as an adverb phrase, and when you get the answer in the form of a clause, it is known as an adverb clause. So this is what we understand by adverb phrase and an adverb clause. So the group of words that do the verb of an adverb is called adverb phrase. Group of words. Phrase is again a group of words. So a group of words that does the work of an adverb is an adverb phrase. And what is an adverb clause? An adverb clause is, just a second, a group of words which has a subject, it has a predicate, and it does the work of an adverb. It is an adverb clause. Similarly, let us look at the difference between an adjective phrase and an adjective clause. Look at the first sentence. The umbrella with a broken needle is mine. The umbrella with a broken needle, broken handle is mine. Which umbrella with a broken handle? Okay, look at the second sentence. The umbrella which has a broken handle is mine. Did you just observe the two sentences? To both the sentences, the answer that I am getting is to the question which umbrella. In the first sentence, when I asked the question which umbrella, my answer was with a broken handle. And when I asked the same question in the second sentence, which umbrella, which has a broken handle. Now in the first sentence, with a broken handle, this is a group of words, but it does not have a subject or a predicate in it. So what is it? It is a phrase. The second sentence, which has a broken handle. My subject and predicate both are given to me, so it is a clause. Now, this is giving a description. What is an adjective? An adjective is a describing word. This is the simplest thing that we know about an adjective. So in the first sentence, I am describing my umbrella using a phrase with a broken handle. And this phrase is known as an adjective phrase. On the other hand, in the second question, I am describing my umbrella in the form of a clause which has a broken handle. So this is an adjective clause. So when I describe something using a phrase, it is an adjective phrase. And when I describe something using a clause, it is an adjective clause. So, my dear students, with this we come to the end of our first chapter, in which we learned the difference between a phrase, a clause, and a sentence. A phrase is a group of words without a subject and predicate. It does not make good sense and should be a part of a sentence to be complete. Clause makes sense, has a subject and a predicate, but is always a part of a main sentence. And a sentence is again a group of words. It has a subject and a predicate, and it makes complete sense. Then we learned about the adverb phrase and adverb clause. Adverb phrase, when you answer the question when in the form of a phrase, that is an adverb phrase. And when you answer the question when in the form of a clause, it is an adverb clause. What is the difference between an adjective phrase and an adjective clause? When you describe something using a phrase, it is an adjective phrase. When you describe something using a clause, it is an adjective phrase. So I hope, dear students, this is very much clear to you. We are going to learn about these in depth in the following chapters. So I shall see you all now in my next video. Thank you.